Okay, good morning. Shus, the Rav of Biel Shlita. So, this past Shabbos, this last weekend, I was upstate, and I met a big Rosh Yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael. My brother was a Rav in Flatbush, and this Rosh Yeshiva ate the Shabbos Suda with us. He was collecting fundraising for his yeshiva, Kailim, and we were talking about what goes on in America, and he knows, but he wanted to hear more, and about work, and about the job market, and about how things are hard, and money and time and people's focus and priorities. And he was asking me what I personally do and what other people do in Lakewood and BMG and the transition. He was very enamored, very intrigued. And I told him that there's such thing as like a 7-8 hour workday, and that's like the basic parameters of Ishtadlis. You ask your Das Torah, and he was blown away. And he's like, 8-9 hours? It's like, you can setzen a ganze for learning Tzoyzin, Rashba's Geschmack, He's like, he didn't understand. And I'm telling him, it's a little bit different over here. And he said, I'm avtiach my bachim. He said, I don't just guarantee. I give him the avtacha. That if you sit and learn, full for a seder, knak, geschmack, I'm avtiach you, they're going to be more matzliach with that learning than without it. So he said, it's different, and with Torah, the schus of Torah. Okay, so I heard it, and I accepted it. He's from Eretz Yisrael, and there's a different way of going about in life in Eretz Yisrael. But then I chanced upon something incredible. A lot of times happens. Hashem sends these little marmakumis, and I want to share with you where it could be he's coming from. It's important that even if working a 9 to 5, 9 to 6. But just to hear where it's possible, where the Torah Taka says, where a chashva person, Rosh Yeshiva, how it can be maftiach, Yungalite, Balabatim, that if you sit and learn hours a day, they're going to have more hatzlacha than without the ishtadlus, without the work. So it's a chasam soif in this week's parsha. The pasuk says, Aser ta'asas kol tu azarecha ha'yitza asad hashana shana. You should set aside, you should tithe your maisus every single year. And then the pasuk says, V'chaltu l'fnei Hashem lekacha. And then you're going to eat before Hashem. You're going to have enough. And all this, the mitzvahs of Parshas Meiser, is all that you should be able to do more of this Hashem. Okay. So the kasha is all the Mefarshim ask, how can it be? We know that you're not allowed to test Hashem. And if here seemingly it says that you're allowed to test Hashem, you're allowed to test Hashem, put him in a situation kavyachol of testing Hashem, of seeing, manipulating, almost rigging the system. So how could it be? So the Gemara in Tainus tells us, the Gemara's kasha, right? You can't test Hashem. So the Gemara says that here it's very different. Besides for this mitzvah of Meiser, you're allowed to test Hashem. Why? Because Hashem tells us, test me in this, and I'm going to reciprocate. I'm going to give you the goods. I'm going to give you the parnas that you need. Okay. Perfect chasam sofer, basic track of London. So we have a kasha, we have a teretz. But the Meiser, we don't have the answer. The answer doesn't answer the question. What's different about Meiser? Hashem says, b'chanunu bezos. Perfect chasam sofer. What's taka different? Why does it allow us? Why does it allow us to test Hashem? Maybe learning Torah, maybe giving, maybe doing kibbutz aim, putting on tefillin. But what's special, unique about this mitzvah of Meiser? Couple words from the Chasam Sofer. Take this to the bank. Take this and do whatever you want with it. Maybe talk to Das Torah before you do anything. But just listen to this. V'yishloim hatam she'omer Kadosh Baruch Hu aser b'shvel she'tisasher v'ksiv u'b'chanunina bezois b'mitzvahs Meiser. So he's asking Kasha. Hashem says b'chanunina bezois, but Meiser we can't test Hashem. So what's the pshat? The derech adam is avois lo'osher. The derech adam, the netiya, is for a person to pursue Ashirus, materialism, materialistic wealth. The Dibur HaTorah, Elo Keneged Yitzhahara. The Torah over here is talking directly to the feelings of mankind. Because in Talmud Torah, it's Eitz Chaim Lachazikim Ba. It's life itself. And therefore, says Hashem, the whole world is created for Torah. The Torah will go back to Torah the world will go back to Torah without it. The highest, the most beautiful, the most heilige thing we possibly do is learning Torah. in order that we shouldn't run after and pursue only materialistic wealth, and we should be able to stay grounded and focus on what's true in life. L'kach, sagt Sam Sefer, Nosan HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzvahs maisus. Hashem gave us this opportunity. Hashem said, test me. See what I'm all about. Because I know where your heart is. I know where your mind is. I know the world you live in. I understand the struggle. I understand the challenges. And Hashem therefore says, test me in meiser. Give from yourself in order that Laman Tira Oisi, that in order that you should ultimately come back around to me. Lahava, right? Laman Tilmod Liras Hashem Lekechol Yamim. I want you to come back around full circle. And I'm going to give you in the struggle itself, in the mud, where it's hardest, in the materialistic pursuit, Nasan HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzvahs maisus sheba hivtiach la'osher vehitir. Hashem gave us a heter. He gave us a loophole, a legal loophole in the Torah itself. And he says, B'chanuna, test me. Why? V'ayideza yilmedu Torah l'shma. Through this signal in Torah l'shma. V'zeh she'amar l'man tilmoid li'yiras Hashem l'kecha. Through this struggle, through this challenge, I'm going to give you an opportunity to take what seems illogical, more mitzvahs, more tzedakah, and more Torah and more yira, and that's going to ultimately come back around and give you the ashiras and everything you need. So we should take this message, utilize it, and realize as much as we have to do ishtadlus, but there's definitely Chasam Sofer in a basis. The more we put in, invest in our ruchnius, not only is it going to be Oisha v'chaved in this world, but it's also going to be in the next world. Give us everything we want. Hashem give us tremendous bracha and hatzlacha. Have a great day.